Hello everyone, it's Cyber Emerald here, and today I'm going to show off my aircraft collection. Now this I thought would be a really cool idea because, it's kind of cool to see what other people collect and what they like, and the specs of each model, because then if you want to start collecting yourself, you have something to go off of. So here I have my different models, and I'm going to share with you the first set I have, which is all the way in the back on the bottom shelf, except the one on the right, that 747 at the top. My next one I got was this Boeing 747-8, followed by a 777 in Air France up there, and then that Boeing 777-9, and the set on the bottom, including the British livery, with the replacement of one of them in the back. I'll show each one of these, all of these individually, and I can talk about the specs, what it's made of. Every single aircraft up here is a 1/200 scale. These in the back are also 1/200s, and these three are 400s. These two are 500s. These three are 400s. It's a bit confusing because these two are two different companies, and I have the boxes stored in there. I can show those if you want to. To get started, we'll start apart from the older ones. So I'll take here my Concorde in the Air France livery. Alright, so I have moved to a mobile camera angle now, and you can see I have my Air France Concorde here. You can see it is pretty neat, as the pointed nose in the upright position. It's got a really good stand, no logo on the stand base. It's got the Air France logo right there. It's got some other painted specs. This aircraft is made by Skymarks or Daron Worldwide Trading Inc., I think, something like that. This aircraft is not die cast. It is a resin plastic material, which means it's molded. It's still quite thick. It's just not metal. So you can see as I tap it here, it sounds like plastic. Now, plastic metals are great and all, but as if you want them to last a long time and you want them to look really good, I opt for die cast. Now you can see here, underside you got the two Rolls-Royce engines, forward intake, thruster outtake. You got the pointy rear, the humped. You got the humped tail with the straight flat back. Moving on to my other Concorde. Now this Concorde is the same, it's pretty much the same exact specs as the Air France one, just in a British Airways livery. Now if I can get it to focus here. Here, I'll bring it up closer. You can see British Airways. It's got that's the old livery, and older livery is not up to date because Concorde did retire in 2003. The other side, you got the nose cone in the upright position. Very good detail Skymarks put on this model. Very pleased with it. You got the underside. These models, all the ones in the back, like I said, all of these are all snap fits. The ones in the front are all pre-put, and the ones up there are all snap fit. Back to the Concorde. This stand doesn't stick that well. As you can see, it just fell right out of the hole. But that's not a big deal. You can always super glue that in if you want to. You can see the exact same specs. The tail is a little bit different though, and the upright is about the same. Also, all these aircrafts, so like I said earlier, I was mistaken. That Delta 74 and all of these aircrafts are all flight miniatures. The Concordes are Skymarks, and these other two are Skymarks. That one right there, the Boeing one, and that's a Herpa 1/200. Now, coming back down to here, you can see that the Skymarks model did not come with any landing gear. No landing gear holes, just the stand hole. So So if you want to, you can leave it like that. It just doesn't look as good. And the stand just snaps right on. There we go, just like so. Coming back up to here. So these models are a bit cramped, as you can tell, but I did make room for my next batch, and I'm probably gonna adjust some of these, move them around a little bit. Moving next to this Delta. This is a Delta A320-200 made by Airbus. Now, for those of you who are Airbus fans, you will know that the nose is rounded. It's not pointy. You can see the side window there. That little logo, Delta. Now, this is the new Delta livery, where they have the Delta logo on the underside, like some modern day aircraft today. So you can see there, you got that. So you got Delta there, you got the engine, but you can see the engine has no shark like spike things, just because the A320 is quite old already, and those didn't come into play later. It's got the two wingtips, it's got it's got the window painted, it's got a little flag at the back, the rear tail, and these are all snap fit. All I have to do is just pull out the tail, and I can show you the tail on its own. These models were fairly cheap. I will say that if you're like a starter collector and you have a really small budget, I would suggest going with Skymarks or Flight Miniatures, because those are fairly cheap. They aren't the highest quality and they don't have the most features, but it's a start. You can see this is also made from resin, molded plastic. Stand, pretty neat stand. It's actually very sturdy. It doesn't jiggle around. It doesn't jiggle around at all. Very secure. Who are Boeing fans like myself, we have a Boeing 737-800, 1/200 scale. This is also in a resin material, and you can see that the nose is pointy. It's a Boeing. You can see different side window shape there. The door, this is a new American livery where it has the red, white, and blue American. You got the engine, which Boeing went for the flat bottom because their front landing gear, if it was here, would have been short. Me personally, I don't like this flat thing. I don't. I like the rounded engines because it looks a bit better, but it's overall cool. The 737 is one of the oldest flying jets that are most reliable, as Southwest uses them in their entire fleet. You can see they have the pathways for the emergency exits. Slide down the wing when the flaps are at 40 degrees, which should be implemented during an emergency landing. Moving towards the back, you can see it has the American flag and the registration number. It has the livery all the way up to the tail, which I personally like that. It has the 737 has the really big winglets. They're not sharkless, they're winglets. Very good model. The stand the same as the Delta one, very sturdy, doesn't come off easy. And Flight Miniatures actually did a very good job at implementing their tires. When I first got this, I thought that was a flaw. But to my surprise, that's really there on the real aircraft. They actually have these wing-mounted things. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but they're there. Flight Miniatures put a really good amount of detail into their wing. You can see they didn't do a fabulous job with detail, but they did a very good job. Enough for about a $20 model. Moving next to my Hawaiian aircraft. This is second to the last model I have from Flight Miniatures. And these were all purchased from the airplane shop. Am I happy with them? Yes. So I would order from them again? Not from the Skymarks brand, no. But from the airplane shop, depending on the model. This is indeed a 717 in the Hawaiian Airlines livery. You can see it still has the pointy nose and the Boeing style cockpit window. I'm going to flip it over so I can show you guys. Well, right there, it does say Boeing 717 on it, which I discovered coming off of a flight on a 717. I was viewing footage of it when I was editing my flight, and turns out that was there, and I was very surprised. Going front to back, you can see the little viewing windows existed on this. This is the old Hawaiian livery with the Hawaiian beneath the windows, the low-rise wings, very short underside of the wings. You got these little things, and that one forward one. They do have this chrome paint on the front, which is very good, very resemblant to the real model. The two side-mounted engines, very nice. Oops, sorry. And you got the T-style tail. Now, the T-style does go like that, with a flat back and with the stabilizer fins on the top instead of right here. Stand, very sturdy. You see the Hawaiian logo down there, which I personally like. Boeing 717-200, 1/200 scale. All of the models that I just showed you are all resin. Resin is a decent material, like I said before, but it's not the best. So you can see Flight Miniatures went with the pointy nose with the hump. It's the 400 hump. You got flat side windows. I think that exists on the real 747. You can see it actually looks like a 747, which is cool. It's got all the windows and doors that you would expect on the wings. You got your two engines pointed about exactly where they would be on the real model. Oops. You got your small winglet, which is really cool. And on the other side, same thing. You have this dark gray finish. And my models are a bit dusty because I haven't cleaned them in a long time. Excuse me for that. You can see the tail has a really big tail, which is really neat on the 747. You can see the stabilizer fins right there. And this model does shake a bit on the stand, which is all right, but that's okay. Delta. And I'm gonna do my 1/200s first, and then get to my 1/400s. I'm gonna start with this one over here because it's out of the way and easy to grab. This is a British Airways 787-800. But you can see the nose. These noses seem to be a lot more rounded than most Boeing aircraft, but that's okay. It still has the signature windows, the new British Airways livery, and it even has Herpa went well with the landing gear door there. You can see little numbers if I can focus properly. Moving to the engines, you can see the really big engines. These do actually spin, which is really neat. You've got the chrome finish on the outskirt of the wing, the four leading flaps, and the pointed type wings. Now, Herpa did go well with these antennas that stick out, which is really neat. I didn't expect that when I purchased it. Really happy with it. The engines. On the underside, you can see the landing gear. These models do actually come with landing gear, and you can't take them off, sadly. Now, all the scuffing on the underside of the fuselage, that was all done by me by accidental. I glued fingerprints on it. I was trying to glue a piece back on one of these side doors, this one in particular, and I kind of made a mess, but that's okay. You can see it's got all the flap cutouts, which is really cool. It's got the underside antenna, landing gear doors. You got the registration right there. Right there. You've got this this glide up kind of style tail, which is really nice. Same tail design as on the Concorde version, the really old Concorde. You've got your also your chrome finish on these elevator flaps. Blue underside, pointed edge. Really, really good aircraft. I do wish this was not in a resin material, but I wish it was in a die-cast version. This Air France. Bringing in this gigantic, this is an Air France 777-300ER. Now, I've seen a bunch of these, but I got this one for about 37 bucks. Now, this is a very good deal. You can see pointed nose. You've got your I don't think Air France has any numbers on their landing gear, but the landing gear does roll. And you've got the cutout, which is pretty neat. And you've got your freighter door and all the different designs. The 777-300 tag. Air France. Air France doesn't add too much color to their aircraft, but it's mostly white. You can see the chrome finish against the lighting. Now, if I wanted to show you, these engines do come off, which is really handy. Oops. So you can see these do spin as well. No shark teeth rear, but it does have a very good design to them. I like these engines. And they sound very, very nice when they're in full power. Stick that back there. These are all snap fit models, so if I wanted to, I can take them apart and show them to you individually, but it's just easier to show them like this. You can see it's got the flat side. If I can get it in the focus, there you go. You got that flat side and the curved wing. Both wings have it. The underside of the wing has the 3 edge thing and the 2x3 bogey set up for the landing gear. You can see sky marks on the bottom because this is the sky marks model. This is a thicker resin type. I thought it was die-cast metal, but I was wrong because I was a newer collector at the time, which was only about like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that. You've got your registration right there. You've got your elevator fins, which you can tell do not have a chrome leading flap. I don't know if the actual 777 model, the real one, actually had that, but I'm pretty sure it did. The tail, on the other hand, does have a chrome finish paint on it. Very nice. The back, and what's cool about this model in particular is that this landing gear is attached to the wing, so the whole wing comes off, as you can see. And that's just how it was. It was really, really cool. This is a 777X. You can tell that this aircraft was actually sitting on its wheels. That's because I didn't have enough room to put it on its stand. And to be honest, I like the aircraft better on the wheels. Starting from the front, you can see the pointed nose, that window, that side window, 777X, that door, and I love the Boeing livery. The Boeing livery is literally my favorite. You can see the engine with this little fin on the bottom with the... And if you're gonna ask me why there's tape on my winglet, that's because these are movable winglets. And you can have them in the down position or the up position. I have mine in the up position just because I liked it better and I like the shark fin type. And I know tape was a definitely general area to go, but because the instruction manual actually suggested gluing it in a particular position, I said no. Because if I want to change it, or if I want to demonstrate it, I'd rather be able to take off the tape and put a new piece on later. And I do have a product called Goo-Gone, and that does take away adhesive residue from any surface. Works really great. You can see that actually up front here, there's the little antenna. I was very pleased with that on the model because I didn't expect any of those on this particular model. You can see the underside of the wing. It's got many more of these things than we're used to. The engine and the 2x3 bogie, which is indeed attached to the wing. 777X undercarriage, love that. Very blue. And then you can see they took out this part, what used to be blue on the older models, but they changed it to be gray. You can see the tail design does indeed come into the fuselage, which is really cool. 777-9, you've got your stabilization fins and your pointed rear. A cargo door and your registration right there. So moving forth to the bottom area. Now I did these ones back here because those were my originals. Now I'm gonna start with this one right here because this is the next one. This aircraft is my, I guess you can say, my very first die-cast model. Everything else was not die-cast. This aircraft was ordered before that, and before that. This is the 747-8 freighter made by, Hogan. Now you can see on the bottom I am missing a landing gear, and these landing gears are very damaged. That's because these landing gears aren't made to roll, and if you do roll them, expect some damage. I am pretty sad that this model did come damaged, but that's okay because the company I ordered it from, he refunded it to me completely and he let me keep the model because why would you want a damaged model? You can see starting from the front, you've got the 7.4 typical side window. You've got the nose cone for the freighter. You've got Boeing. Moving back, you got because this is a 400 scale, so the wings aren't as big, but you've got your nice, decent size engines. I think they're General Electric. You can see you've got the wing, very nice metal finish. You got the underside with all these pins. Undercarriage, you got that one slot for a stand because this model did not come with the stand. You've got your Hogan logo right there, and you got your 2 damaged landing gear in the middle. This is a 2x2x4 bogie, which means a 2x2 per 1 bogie times that by 4, because it's 4 of them. Like I said earlier, you got the blue hump type paint there, and your tail blends together with the fuselage with the 747 on it. The 2 different rudders, very interesting. The lower and the upper, very neat. Very nice model, pretty heavy. I was pretty surprised. This is very heavy. Very satisfied. If you ever want to get one of these, I highly recommend it. Boeing doesn't necessarily say what brand their models are, but I bet if you Googled it, you could probably figure it out. And if you can find an equivalent on a different website for cheaper, go for it. These die-cast models can range from minimum $10 if it's on sale to about $2,000. So, since this model was fully refunded to me, I went and I ordered these 2 at the start of 2020. These 2 are my first 2020 models. Starting from left to right, I'm going to start with this Gemini Jets model. This is my very first Gemini Jets, and I knew it was going to be successful once I ordered it. I'm going to move here to my desk because my arms are getting tired and these are very small. This model in particular is a 737-800F, which means freight. And like I was saying before, on the bigger 737-800, you can see the very tiny landing gear. Now, that isn't a flaw like I thought it was in the first. I thought that front landing gear was damaged and it didn't come out. But to my surprise, that's just how it is. And that's why these engines are so tiny. They all roll, not very well, but they roll. You've got different stand holes here. Well, those 2 rear ones are the landing gear holes, and then the front one is a stand. Starting from front to back, this is going to be very hard because I don't know how well this camera focuses. My hands are very shaky because, I'm trying to look at what I'm doing. You got the pointed nose, you got your windscreen. There is some kind of number on that landing gear door. FedEx Express. You got your wing attachment. You got your leading flaps in, I think that's yep, that is a chrome finish on the very front, right above the engine. You've got your 3 rear leading flap things. You've got your winglet, and you've got these really pointed antennas. Now, I did get a question on why they exist, and that's because it's to analyze outer surfaces of the aircraft while it's in flight. And I also got a comment saying that these edges are very pointed, and I said yes, that's why they're not suitable for any collector under 14 unless cared for by an adult. And that's because it's very difficult, and it's very easy for these things to be. These things are very difficultly made. They're made, I think they're painted by hand, as German had just claimed, and they're very easy to break. And this one was one of my very dissatisfied Gemini jets, and I don't know why Gemini jets decided to do this on this model, but right behind that registration number, if you can see it, it's very blurry, I'm sorry. Right behind there, you see the purple FedEx logo. This tail, and these fins are plastic. This wing is metal. The fuselage is metal. But why the rear flaps and the wings? Why did these 3 have to be plastic? Gemini jets are supposed to be all metal. They're supposed to be all die cast because they're premium. Apparently that's not the case with some models. I did get this on sale for 35 bucks. Very happy with it. That's why I bought it, because it's cheap. You can see you got a chrome leading flap on these elevators. And the tail is just a tail with, I think, is that a chrome finish? I can't tell. It is a chrome finish. So the tail also has a chrome finish. That is pretty much it about this model. This model is, there's a lot to go by in each model, but it's not that big of a deal. The next one here that I have is going to be my second Hawaiian Airlines. This is a full die-cast model, as you can tell as I tap these wings. Would I suggest tapping it? No. But if you don't trust me on my fingernail tappings, I have a pair of tweezers that I bought. Because, you know, when you're dealing with about a fourth of a normal person's vision, it's very hard to see what you're doing when you have big chubby fingers. Fingers that are a lot bigger than your... So, I bought these. Well, I didn't buy them, but I was given them. Now, these are metal. Or as I hit it against this water bottle near me, you can hear that it's metal. Now, I'm going to tap that wing. I'm going to tap it. You can hear it's metal. This one, also metal. This one, also metal. Having a full metal aircraft is very superior. It's very good. It'll last a really good while if it's taken care of. This is the new Hawaiian livery on most, but not all, aircraft. This is a Boeing this is an Airbus, my bad, not a Boeing. This is an Airbus A321neo. Do I like the A321s or the A320 family? No, because they're just sized, and that's kind of a waste. That's not really unique. Now, some may counterattack, saying Boeing also does that with some of their aircraft, such as the 787, the 777s, and the S737s. They're all similar, but I think they have more characteristics. Now, starting from the front, you can see it has the Airbus type windows, Hawaiian, cargo door, you got these antennas, and you've got this really beautiful flower-shaped design. I love this livery. This livery is, I think, downright my favorite Hawaiian airline livery. A lot better than the other one that I have. You got your wing, and this is a full circular engine because it's not on the 737, and it's not with low gear. Boeing did kind of, I'm going to be honest, they did kind of screw that up, but that's okay. On the rear, you can see it has the 777-300 type engines, or the X engines, where it comes at the bottom. Very, very cool. They're very similar. I think they're different types, but they're very cool. You can see on the winglet has that little tiny design. That, I don't know how relevant that is, but that's pretty cool. I think on the inside there's also, yep, there's that, you can see that little flower. My bad, hold on. You can see that there. That little flower design, that's very cool. Moving back, you got these, I think these are sharklets. And you can see the back finish is more detailed than the old Hawaiian Airline livery. Now, Hawaiian Airlines has been around for quite some time in the Hawaiian Islands series. They were around when the old airport, as it's known as, was used as a main terminal before the new airport was built. The landing gear does roll, as I was just messing with it. They do roll. The front one is kind of jammed, but you can't get a perfect model every time. That's okay. The tail is fairly similar, but it was changed a lot. The face is definitely a lot better, and the color behind it does fade from a purple to a pink. Very cool. You can see chrome finish on these stabilizers or elevators on both sides, and I think these front main wings also have the chrome finish. Very cool. Gemini Jets is definitely, I think, one so far downright my favorite manufacturer. Herpa is right behind them, but because I haven't had a Phoenix or an NG model aircraft ordered yet, I don't know how their quality is going to be. Now, from what I stand, this is a very beautiful aircraft, very well made. I think it's handmade, which is really cool, which makes it value way more. This I also got for $35 because it was on sale. On to the next one. This aircraft is a DC-8-71F. It's a freighter from ATI, right there. And you can see it has the 717 type viewing windows at the front. That's where the 717 got it from, was this DC-8. 4-engine aircraft. The engines are very close together, as you can see, compared to the 747. But it's an older aircraft, and that's what you'd expect. Moving from the front, you can see the Boeing type pointed nose, the Boeing type side windows. You got your door, you got a number on that landing gear door. You got these tires that roll. You got a very big chrome flap here. Very neat. That's a very old thing. And you've also got chrome rear flaps. Also very rare. 4 engines. These are very small compared to modern day engines. These are very, very small engines. Both wings have it. Very tiny little things that are attaching to the flaps. A 2x2 bogie times 2 because it's 4. You can see it's a Gemini Jets model with the Gemini Jets model exclusive stand hole. I did not purchase a stand, and I probably won't purchase a stand because I'm alright with it. You can see, because this is the freighter, there's no passenger window doors, just flat body. It's a US registration number, and you've got your tail, which leads right to the fuselage, which is really cool. Now, these are really rare. You don't see these anymore, where it's chrome in the front and also chrome in the back. It's also pointed. Very, very neat model. It's also full die-cast metal, as I'll demonstrate, because, you know, some people... Tail and the other wing. I'm just doing light taps because, you know, you don't want to scratch your model. Now, very pleased with this model. It has one little dot thing there, and I think that is because that is what would be an antenna of some sort. No pointy antennas yet, and I don't know why. I can't seem to figure that out, but that's okay if it doesn't. On to the next model. This is a Qantas, or Qantas. I don't exactly know how you would say it because I'm from the US and not from the origin of Australia. So I don't know the proper way. I think it's you say it as Qantas, but it's spelled Qantas with Qantas. I made that mistake a bunch of times. Qantas. See? Qantas. Now, this is a Herpa 1/500 scale model. Now, because this is a Herpa, Herpas are very known for 1/500 scales, and they do various different types of aircraft. This is a full diecast model of a 787-9, I believe. Starting from the front, you got the Boeing pointed nose, bit rounded to the top, no number on their landing gear door. Oops, and I've gone out of focus. Well, sorry about that. There we go. And you got your Qantas logo, Spirit of Australia. Qantas on the bottom. This also did not come with a stand, so you have to buy that separate, which is okay. These landing gear do not roll because Herpa doesn't make them. Most of them roll. You've got your really kind of oval looking shape. I think it's circular, but it looked oval to me a little bit. I don't think they spin. I don't see why they would. You got your chrome forward leading flaps, and you've got these three tickenings. I can't remember. I don't even know what they're called. 2x2 bogies, and your landing gear there. Not too much. You got all these really small details. Dream lifter or liner, not lifter. My bad. It looked like Dream Lifter, and that's just popped in my head. You got your Qantas chrome attachment that goes all the way up the tail. You got chrome finishes on these stabilizers, both of them. You got your US registration on this side, my bad. US registration. Where's that US? No, that's not US. That is... I don't know what flag that is. Someone tell me if you know. I don't exactly know. Very good model. Also full die cast. And I'll do a quick test on them. This time I'm using the rear of my... Oh. You can hear it. There you go. Full die cast metal. Very pleased with it. On to the next model. Here is the Airbus A350-1000. You can see A350-1000 XWB, and that's the engine types I found out the other day. You can see Airbus's really not pointy nose, and that does not look very good in a model. That looks terrible. You've got the Superman W type thing, whatever, the mask on the windows. You've got the window design for the passengers, A350-1000 on their side. You can see moving to the wings, you got the forward leading chrome flaps. You got the XWB engines, which look very long. Doesn't that look oddly long to you? It is. Very nice engine detail on the front. And you got these sharklets, which in my opinion, I didn't used to like the A350, but when I seen this, I'm like, awesome. Airbus, you did a really good job with it. 1000. I did not like these flaps or these lines and stuff. I'm like, whatever. You've got the little, I think that's a wing registration right there. You don't see that very often, do you? Very cool. Moving towards the back, more passenger windows, a door, that little line there, 1000. I think that's registration. I don't know. A350, Airbus signature tail, and you got chrome on all three. I think, no, that doesn't have chrome. No, the tail does not have chrome. These elevators do. And now you got a 2x3 bogie, which is not normal for an Airbus. Airbus normally doesn't have that, but their A350s do. And you got this regular front one. Now for the die-cast test. If you might have heard already, plastic, metal. Oh wait, Nope. Plastic tail. All plastic. This rear part is plastic, but the rest of the aircraft is die cast. I definitely don't like how they implement plastic and metal. I wish they would just choose one, plastic or metal, because it just it makes the model look more and feel more sturdy. Not much more to say about this Herpa. This is a Herpa 1500, just like the last model. Very pleased. I wanted to get my hands on one of these for a while, and when I did, I was very happy. On to this model is indeed my final model at this point in time of this recording, and this will probably be uploaded the day after Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day. Let me grab the original. Yep, this is the very first one I got. Now, this aircraft has two versions, as you may have seen in the preview, and that's because this model by Gemini Jets isn't the best. I'm gonna be honest. It's very cool. It was on sale, so I bought it. I think it was on sale for 20 bucks, something like that. But as I bring it into frame, it is a 747 SP in the Mandarin Airlines livery. Mandarin, I don't exactly know. You can see the pointy nose. It's really tiny engines compared to the Dash 8 and the Dash 4. You got your stripes, your typical windows there. Your landing gear with some kind of numbering and lettering on there. And then their wing is very close because it's an SP. It's a special production is what SP stands for, if you don't know. No rear, like, little tick things that stick out. Very interesting. You also have a very thin line of chrome with two small engines on this side. A dark gray finish on the inside, and then the cutouts for the flaps. Now, this model is full die cast. I think that's solid die cast in there, which is neat because die cast is pretty awesome. Other side is the same thing. Undercarriage is a 2x2x2x2, or in this case, a 2x2x2x3 because I'm missing a wheel. Gemini Jets. I think this is one of the older Gemini Jets out there because you can see the jet isn't yellow, it's silver. I don't know why. I don't know if it's older, but you can see as I move back, livery continues, registration back there. What does that say? I don't know. You can see these full metal. Oh, mark my words. This tail is not metal. Why? I don't know. Like I said before, I wish that manufacturers would choose metal, plastic. I don't know why they don't do it like that. But you can see elevators wiggly, not stable. That's not good. It does have a chrome finish, just like the rest of the things have all chrome finish, but it's wiggly. It's not stable. On the other side, you can see this gigantic crack in the model. That's not a crack. That's there, and I don't know why that's there. I don't know why it's not solid. That's probably because the tail, maybe the bottom of the tail, I think there's like a door that comes down. I'm not sure. Also up here, another gigantic indent crack cut thing, just like in the back. I don't know why those are there. I don't know why they're on the model. I don't know why they're on the real one. I really don't know. You got a really tiny door there, though, which I don't think that makes sense because you have a gigantic crack in the middle of your assembly. But overall, a plastic tail. Now, because of all these things, and I wasn't sure if this model was damaged or not, and I was missing a wheel, I contacted the website that I ordered it from, and they issued me a full replacement. I'll just leave that in frame, all in the back, and that's this model right here. This is also the exact same model. I'm not gonna go through it again. I have a 4x4 bogie with a 4 bogie set. These cracks are on all these models, weirdly enough, and the tail is a little bit more stable. I was very pleased. It did take a while to come. It took a lot longer than my regular order would come in, but hey, free replacement, fine. You can see Mandarin, very neat. I like these models. Gemini Jets is one of my favorites. Some of them aren't the best, but you know, you get what you pay for. I'm gonna go put these back and I'm on to this video. Now I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I figured I'd do something very passionate of mine, and I think that you guys will enjoy it. It's worth it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. And by the way, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. Very first one in a long time. Yeah.